Hi class, so this last perspective video is going to be about drawing a room. This is the room we're going to draw. So we start with a horizon line, okay? And right in the center, make it your vanishing point. What you're going to do is then draw a box around that vanishing point, and you want the horizon line to be higher than center of the box, okay? So it's a little bit higher. And then you're going to go from each corner of the box inward to the vanishing point, or outward, like that. Follow all the way out. This is creating the actual room. That square that the first rectangle you built was the actual back wall of the room. And so what you're now doing is drawing lines that represent the corners of the room, okay? So now you have a back wall, you have a ceiling, floor, and two sides of the wall of the room. Okay, so if you want, you can just define it by drawing a larger rectangle. All right, now the first thing we're going to add is a table. Make those lines darker so you know where you are. And the table is going to be in the center of the room, centered underneath the vanishing point. So you're going to draw two horizontal lines. They'll be parallel to the floor of the room. And you can make them whatever length you want. I would suggest making them about like that. Then you take your ruler, go from the vanishing point to the edge of the lower line. All right. And now you've created your tabletop. All right, so make that darker. Then you're going to draw lines straight down that would represent the legs. You're going to do it from the back too. Remember that the leg has to fall onto the floor. It can't be any higher or else it would fall over. Okay, now you've got a table. So the next thing we're going to do is draw a door on the left side. So just using the vanishing point, draw a line that would represent the top of the door, and then you're going to do vertical lines that are parallel to the edges of the room. And there you have your door. Put a doorknob on there so you can represent it as a door. Okay? Maybe strengthen those lines. That line up at the top doesn't work, but I'll erase it later. Now, what about a window? So to do a window, you're going to do exactly like you did with the door, but you're going to do one on the top and one on the bottom because this window doesn't go all the way to the floor. Okay. And then you decide how wide it's going to be by drawing your vertical lines, again, parallel to the edges of the room. Now, because this is a window that is like a pocket window kind of thing, you're going to draw the three sides. You won't see the fourth side because it's blocked by the wall. And then you're going to draw those angle lines to make it look like it's actually going in there. You can start erasing some of these other lines. Okay, so now we've got the window. Let's go back and look at the table again. What if you drew the actual edge of the table? And what if you made these table legs thicker? So what you would do is you would have what's facing you would be straight, the bottom of it would be parallel to the floor, but then where it goes back, you could use your vanishing point to get that little edge of the wood of the floor leg. Now I want you to draw or mark equal spaces along that back floor wall. And you're going to follow from the vanishing point to each one of those points and start drawing the wooden floor, the slats of the wooden floor. Do it until you've got them all. Keep going. They're not going to all be exactly even. Well, that's okay for now. I mean, we're just learning how to do this at this point. So continue until you've done all of them. I have one more. And can you see now you're really starting to see that this room is you're standing at this end of the room and the room goes far back, it sets back like that. All right. So how about if we put a window back here on this wall? So since you're looking straight at it, it's just going to be straight rectangle. You could make it whatever shape you want it to be. I'm making kind of a long picture window. And you would, again, draw from the corners to the vanishing point. And those are going to give you the lines, the angled lines of the edge of the window. All right? Okay? It's looking good. Now, what if we put a horizon line in both windows? Let's assume that this room is looking out over the ocean, right? And the house is right on the edge of the water. So you're going to see that line, the actual horizon line, where the water and the sky meet. That will work. You can keep coming back and working a little bit harder on some of the lines of the table, some of the different things. See? You could have drawn this table anywhere you wanted in this room, but by using the vanishing point, you will actually get a table that works properly. So now I'm just going to put in a vase of flowers on the table to give it some kind of narrative so we know where it is. A little bit of a shadow there. Erase that line that goes through the vase. How about if you add like some waves and stuff on the water? Mm-hmm. If it wasn't water, it could also be desert. You know, it could also be just a big field. But I'm going to make it water and put a boat. And a little brown thing sitting on it. Okay. So how about if we erase a little bit and start cleaning some things up? After that, I'm going to actually put some wood around the door, the frame the door too. Again, because this table is dead center under the vanishing point, everything on the right leg you're going to see on the inside, and on the left leg you'll see on the inside too. If this table was over at a different angle or turned, you would see it differently. I think I came down a little too far with that leg. I'm not sure. Yeah, one leg is lower than the other. Oh, putting a little shadow on that vase. Oh, how about a light coming down from the ceiling? So it could be one of those lanterns that you get at Home Depot, you know, with a bare light bulb. Mm-hmm. Think about where the shadow would be. The shadow would be on the inside and then on the back of it too. Make these lines a little bit harder. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually make a rug. So I'm drawing the lines of the rug, but I am going to use the vanishing point, which actually I've got lost. I think it's just dead center there. Use that vanishing point because I want to make sure that it looks real. That one's like just where the rug is. Okay. I want to get a nice straight line for this rug at the top and at the bottom as well. Okay. And I'm going to sort of soften the corners because it is a rug after all. Oh, I got a little sloppy there. Let's go right. Yeah. With my eraser. Now I'm going to erase the wood because this rug is sitting on top of the wood, so we would not see that wood. Again, using a brush, it's nice to have a brush when there's a lot of erasures because they just get, to get them off, you have to press hard with your hand and then you smudge everything. Now I'm just going to give a little edge to this rug because it would be a little thick and would stand up a little high. So bring that, make it dark because it's a little bit in shadow. Yeah, and now look, we've got the room. Right? See? Now I'm going to add molding around the door just because I like molding. So I would follow with the vanishing point, but then these would just come straight down at the same distance. Right? Okay. I think we're pretty much there. Just need to clean up some lines, clean up some smudges where they might be. Come in, maybe make that a little in shadow there. You could play a little bit with making certain things in shadow where you think that the light from that side window would not be hitting. If you really wanted to play with this, you could turn this into nighttime. And you could try and, maybe not nighttime, but maybe early in the morning when the sun starts coming in, and you would have light on the ground from that window. That dark area, by the way, is a shadow from the room where I'm working. Yep, just clean up. I'm going to get rid of that line at the top. I don't really think it's that necessary. I think it makes a room look bigger if you don't actually define that line. And there you have it. That's it. So what I'd like to see you do is try and do a room yourself. You could either copy this or you could do another room.